Hi, this is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the AMI Small Cap MicroCap Conference in Coronado Island, California. I'm here with Thijs Spoor of FluoroPharma, a private company. Thijs, welcome.
Hi.
To SNNLive.
Thanks so much.
Okay, let's go. Tell me about Fluoro.
So FluoroPharma has 5 drug compounds which are used in diagnostic imaging. And what that means is that non-invasively, we can find disease in patients' bodies. So most Americans actually are probably at risk of dying of a heart attack. And for many Americans, the very first symptom is death. We actually have a way of actually identifying this much earlier. So there's a tragic case with Tim Russert died of vulnerable plaque. We have a way of identifying that plaque much earlier in patients who would otherwise be asymptomatic.
All right. Nice question. How is it non-invasive?
So non-invasive means we just have one injection, and then you lie under a scanner or a camera similar to PET or MR or CT. And so it's not angiography. You don't have a catheter being introduced to the body. It's just one injection of a small volume, and they take the image.
So what this does is it shows up as a different color on the image. Is that it?
Yeah, like that. So the camera reconstructs, and we have several drugs that do different things. One drug does vulnerable plaque, and so it's like a big, look here to the cardiologist to say this is something that needs to be treated aggressively. We have another drug which looks at how well the heart muscle is functioning. So really it says to the doctor, do I do a bypass surgery or do I do a transplant? Because there's no point doing a bypass if there's dead meat inside the heart, and we can identify that. We have another one that looks at just blood flow in the heart. And so without having to go invasively again, we can see how well blood's flowing in the heart, and from there we can actually look at how well it's beating and everything else that's happening. So non-invasively figure out what's happening to the heart itself and how is it functioning.
Does this have FDA approval?
The drugs are currently being developed. They're not FDA approved yet. And right now we're in phase 1 with some of the drugs, moving into phase 2. And at this stage we are very excited about what we see so far, because these drugs are showing terrific value so far in addressing key unmet medical needs. Vulnerable plaque is the holy grail in cardiology.
I know that. And one of the things that I like is the way this is diagnostic, because this takes the patient, and it's not too big a cost, I bet.
It's not a big cost. And it's actually the nice thing about diagnostic drugs is that they're reimbursed, they're pretty straightforward, and they avoid unnecessary procedures. There's a lot of unnecessary medical procedures which are cost to the healthcare system, and we reduce that by doing very simple, straightforward tests up front.
Hey, so what's your background?
So I'm a nuclear pharmacist by training, and I spent some time in Wall Street, and I got tired of sitting on the edge of this. Thought, I want to get back in. I saw something really exciting. But here's a company with 5 drugs that really need to get out there and get taken to the market and get out there and make a difference in patients' lives.
So you were an analyst, right?
I was an analyst.
And this company comes in, right? And you go, oh, you loved it so much you had to get in, right?
It's similar to that, and actually one step further, I used to be in industry, and I used to buy companies like this one for one of the majors, and I looked at it and said, this is everything that we wanted to buy, and here I have the opportunity to actually lead this company forward and take it to actually making a difference in patients' lives.
So where is the company located?
So the company is based in Boston, and a lot of our intellectual property comes out of the Massachusetts General Hospital. The company's founder is a professor at Mass General, and the IP comes through us. We pay for it. But it gets developed locally there and really taken forward to doing some really interesting clinical trial work.
So how long do you think, I don't want to hold you to it because that's wild, wild west stuff.
Yep.
How long do you think it's going to take about before this is going to be on the market?
So depending on the funding situation and how the clinical trial works, there's always the big caveats that are out there, but this is something that could rationally be on the market between 3 and 5 years. And that's something which, once it gets through, the data starts to build up steam, people get more and more interested, and the FDA will tend to give priority review to things that make such a meaningful difference.
Yeah, I think this is definitely something that would be accelerated.
We hope so, and it should be. The fact that we can actually identify things before they die and find patients at risk.
Website?
It's www.fluoropharma.com.
Spell it.
Which is FLUOROPHARMA.com.
And you're available if they email through the website. You'll definitely return an email or telephone call.
Absolutely. I'm passionate about the space, and I'm happy to call and talk to anyone that's keen.
Thijs, good luck to you.
Thanks for your time.
It's a good one. Thank you.
Thanks.